This is Bomb Hoops Podcast.
What is up, guys? This is Palm Hoops Podcast hosted by Jem and Jello. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell to keep you updated on our latest releases. And also, help us to reach 1,000 subscribers. And check the description down below for our social media accounts to give us a follow. We are back with another episode of Legacy, and this time, magdi-discuss tayo ng some player na I would not consider a Hall of Famer right away. Not a legend, pero in some ways, he is. Particularly yung shouting incident niya. No, joke lang. This is Paul Pierce na is a champion, is a 10-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA team, and surprisingly, meron pala siyang 3-point contest championship noong 2010.
Ay, actually, di ko alam yun.
And,
So, pero sabi mo nga sa previous videos natin, bro, pag naka 10-time All-Star ka, matik Hall of Famer, pero pag tinignan mo si Paul
Hall of
Pierce,
Famer ka.
parang medyo hindi
Is he though?
Hindi mo iisipin na na first ballot siya. I'm pretty sure naman at some point i-induct siya. Pero hindi yung iisipin
Actually,
mo na pagka-retire.
I think general perception na parang di niya deserve. Pero actually on paper deserve niya talaga.
Siyempre, kasi itong si Paul Pierce, not necessarily gusto siya ng lahat ng tao. In fact, maraming galit sa kanya na Laker fans. Pero ironically enough, sa galing LA tong si Paul Pierce. And sinabi niya sa mga
Laker
interviews niya na iniidolo niya sila Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar growing up. So, medyo din to, by hometown, Lakers din tong si si Paul Pierce. Pero naging legacy.
Ang ironic lang talaga na sa Celtics siya pumunta.
Well, hindi na rin naman niya choice kasi yun yung nag-draft sa kanya.
Doon siya na-draft.
So, ayun, tas nakaisa pa siyang championship against the Lakers. So, yung championship nga ng Celtics ng 2008 na hanggang ngayon, minimilk pa din niya. And minimilk pa din nila Kendrick Perkins, pati Kevin Garnett.
Shoutout sa'yo, Kendrick Perkins.
Kung ikaw tatanungin, bro, saang level of player mo ilalagay itong si Paul Pierce? Parang, kasi sa pinakataas, nandyan yung mga, sila Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, etc. Tapos, pagdating mo sa slightly below that, dyan na sila, siguro sila Giannis Antetokounmpo, ganun, Dwayne
Wade, Kevin Garnett,
Chris Paul, gano'n.
Ayun, mga gano'n.
Or somewhere there. Tingin mo, saan mo ilalagay si Paul Pierce?
Lalagay ko siya doon sa mga third star role. Mga third star level na mga players. Mga kasama na dyan sila Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, Kevin Love, maybe Kyrie Irving. Hindi pa tayo sure, pero tentatively, I think Kyrie Irving is around that level. Klay Thompson. Yung mga they're not the best player on their team per se, pero they were good at some point in their careers to be considered a number one option. Pero yung best teams nila, probably hindi sila yung best player.
I think naman na majority of his Boston Celtics days, Paul Pierce was the best player in the team. Ang problema nga lang, hindi siya naging successful by himself. Kinailangan niya ng tulong nila Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen na I think sila yung nagpauso nung Big 3 na trend sa NBA. So, kinailangan niya ng tulong ng dalawang superstar players. Though siguro si Ray Allen medyo nagde-decline na eh. Tapos si Kevin Garnett talaga yung parang cornerstone player nila noong time na yun. Kasi it was the time na naging defensive player of the year siya na nag-champion sila.
And between the two of them, si Garnett yung regular member ng All-NBA team and was also an MVP in 2003-2004. So, obvious naman na si Garnett talaga yung mas magaling na player sa kanilang dalawa even though they play different positions. Pero yung impact doon sa team, mas malaking impact ni Garnett. Sadyang, siguro by design na rin na si Paul Pierce yung leader ng team since siya yung original Celtic doon sa tatlo. Plus, siya rin yung wing player na versatile enough to be a 3-level scorer.
I think yun yung perfect role kay Paul Pierce eh. Kaya siguro hindi siya nag-thrive na siya yung superstar. Kasi perfect complementary siya eh. Someone who can knock down shots. Alam mo yung pag nalibre sa 3 points, pasok yan. If kailangan mo ng point sa mid-range, siya yung maaasahan mo. I put him at the similar level like Carmelo Anthony. Para siyang ganun. Na perhaps
yung
Carmelo...
kaya mag-stop ng bleeding.
Yeah. Siguro si Carmelo, slightly higher siya kay Paul Pierce. Ang kulang lang talaga championship eh. So, di ko siya malagay talaga na mas mataas kay Paul Pierce. Pero, para siyang ganun eh, na maasahan mong score. Though, mas superstar type kasi si Carmelo Anthony. Complementary star tong si Paul Pierce.
Si Paul Pierce. He had these moments particularly in 2001 conference finals na nakatapat nila yung Sixers. Pero, ayun nakatapat niya yung perhaps the pound per pound greatest non-champion shooting guard na si Allen Iverson. Kaya, minalo siya doon. Pero, for the most part naman ng career ni Paul Pierce, he was averaging a good 25 points per game. Nga lang, given na hindi siya nasa isang malakas na team nun. And alam naman natin, when stars are playing in a not so great team, they tend to average high numbers. Parang si Westbrook noong 2017 na he was playing in an okay team pero yung stats niya 30-point triple-double. And etong nakaraang dalawang season with Bradley Beal being the leading scorer of the NBA. Pero yung record ng team niya ang sama, di ba? That's a given. And to a certain extent, comparable to doon sa naging role ni Pierce nung career niya prior to the Big Three.
So, we're not saying naman na Paul Pierce is a bad player. Actually, complete opposite. And I think nga na he is very underrated eh. Kasi nasabay siya sa time ng mga players kung kailan yung spotlight is nasa wing players. Kasabay niya dito sila T-Mac, sila Kobe, Iverson, sila Vince Carter. Kaya siguro hindi masyado nasasama yung pangalan niya pag naiisip natin yung mga best small forwards or best scorers ng time na yun. Pero he's up there.
Tapos nag-overlap nag-overlap pa yun with the arrival of LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony na nakadagdag din doon. Tapos Kevin Durant came. So, talagang napatungan yung career natin si Paul Pierce. Kaya nawala siya agad sa spotlight. Tapos, consider mo na rin na yung game ni Paul Pierce is not actually eye-popping. He isn't an athletic player. He isn't a pure shooter na parang Ray Allen na just can pull up 7 3-pointers in a game out of a sudden. Hindi siya ganun eh. He was just consistent as a scorer.
Para siyang alam mo yung feels ni Donovan Mitchell. Para siyang ganun eh. Na yung steady lang, maaasahan mo eh. Like hindi siya magsa-slump, pero hindi rin siya yung random na puputok ng 50 points. Parang ganun. So si Mitchell siguro since bata pa, may capability pa siya to grow. Pero as of now, parang ganun yung nakikita ko kay Paul Pierce nun.
And for Paul Pierce, nag-thrive naman siya doon sa ganung role. Pero alam naman natin saan sila nag-champion. Nung naging na siya, naging complementary piece na siya. Well, actually, yung team na yun, despite yung criticism natin sa kanila for milking that championship so much, they were actually deserving of the credit naman na they were such a team-oriented na team first mentality talaga sila. Na yung nila nun, yung mantra nila nun is Ubuntu. I think it's something that regards with family or like we are one unit. Parang walang singular person dun sa team na nakakaangat sa lahat. Kaya nag-succeed sila ng ganun.
Yeah, and not to mention, ang coach mo pa nun, si Doc Rivers, na one of the best coaches when in terms of maximizing yung depth ng isang team. So, ayun pa. Plus, si Rajon Rondo, dun nag-start mag-mature eh. Kasama niya sila Paul Pierce nun. So, I think, malaki yung naging influence sila Paul Pierce, nila Ray Allen, sa growth ni Rajon Rondo as a basketball player.
Alala na si Rondo na down the line nga nakita natin kung gaano siya katalino as a player. And I think yung pagiging teammates niya with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett contributed a lot to Rondo's career. And I think yung relationship naman ni Paul Pierce as a leader dun sa mga players na yon, na mga batang players na nakasama niya. For example, sila Avery Bradley, si Rondo. Yun, malaki yung naitulong niya sa mga yan for them to have a successful career in the NBA. Lalo na tong si Rondo na, nag-champion last year and it's now, I think, playing the role of a mentor na in Atlanta.
Balik tayo kay Paul Pierce. I think this is a player na gusto mo talaga nakasama sa team mo. Not as the best player or the star player, but someone who complements talaga. Kasi maasahan siya eh. He's not a bad defender. Magaling, underrated na defender siya. In fact, mas maliit siya sa mga dinedepensahan niya sa wings, pero kaya niya makipag-match up. And ang pinaka-example nga nito is the 2008 semis, Game 7 between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics na toe-to-toe sila ni LeBron James nun. Na tig-40 sila nun eh. And ultimately, nanalo yung Celtics nun. So it just says na may capability si Paul Pierce to hang with the best players of basketball nung prime niya.
And even nung 2010 playoffs na yun na nga yung last sura ni LeBron doon sa first stint niya sa Cleveland na talaga shutdown nila si LeBron. Not necessarily LeBron, pero yung team niya shutdown nila. Na they went to win it in a gentleman sweep.
Yeah, tapos, so I attribute that loss of the Cleveland Cavaliers dun sa inner team issues ng
yung
Cavs
off-court
nun.
issues na
Yes, yung
sa lahat ba naman kasi ng liligawan ni Delonte kasi yung nanay pa ni LeBron.
So, ayun, parang isa na yun. Tapos, yung supporting cast din naman ni LeBron James noon is not really the best.
Subpar,
ayun. So, pero credit to the Celtics na talagang pinahirapan nila yung Cavs nun, and they were 100% prepared for LeBron James ng series na yun.
Kaya hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na hindi rin magaling to si Paul Pierce kasi he showed up in the big moments. And particularly na rin nung finals na nagkatapat sila, yung first finals nila in 2008 na nag-champion sila, talagang nilimit nila yung Lakers to team na sobrang consistent ng offense and defense in the season, was actually dismantling a very good Spurs team in 5 games. Pero pagdating sa kanila, talagang nahirapan yung Lakers because they were playing, like one unit on both ends of the floor. And Paul Pierce was perhaps the focus on offense. Pero in my opinion, Kevin Garnett deserved the Finals MVP kasi siya talaga yung siya yung identity ng team. Siya yung nag-set nung identity ng team nila, yung offense nila. Siya yung nagdi-dictate ng playmaking nila. Actually, kasi ito si Garnett, point forward talaga siya. Sa mga unang point forward ng NBA.
Tapos, I can remember the Game 6 nung finals. Tinambakan nila yung Lakers. I think around 40 points yung naging blowout nun. And to do that against a Kobe Bryant-led team, mahirap yun. So, credit again to Paul Pierce na consistent siya. And kahit nung tumatanda-tanda na siya, napunta siya sa Brooklyn, tapos napunta siya sa Wizards, sa Clippers, every time na pumapasok siya, nagagawa niya na maayos yung role niya, which is to score. And naging magandang complementary player nga siya, even as a role player. Kasi every time he goes into the court, nakaka-score siya eh. And yun, I can remember yung game winner niya against Toronto Raptors. So, nasa Wizards na siya. Yung did you call back?
He called game.
Tapos he called game. So, kahit tumanda na siya, maaasahan siya to score. And hindi nawala sa kanya yung pagiging clutch player niya. Even though medyo advanced na siya in years. Laging siya yung closer. Even with the Boston Celtics, kahit sabihin mong si Garnett yung parang cornerstone player nila, yung center ng team nila, si Paul Pierce talaga yung yung last shot taker nila eh. Someone who ISOs and someone who can create his own shot.
Naalala ko pa nga nung na-trade sila sa Brooklyn and they were having a bad season pero they made the playoffs. Tapos Raptors din yung katapat nila noon noong 2014. Actually, nabansagan nga siyang Raptor killer nun dahil doon Tapos the following season nga, nag-game winner naman siya sa Raptors. Parang doon na-establish ni Paul Pierce yung sarili niya as a clutch player na alam naman natin yun for the most part ng career niya sa Celtics na clutch siya and he was a big time performer. Pero to imagine him being able to perform that level at an advanced age, malaking bagay yun to prove his worth in the NBA. Na actually maraming teams na nag-aagawan sa kanya nung time na yun, nung naging free agent siya, na ang nakuha nga sa kanya Clippers in the end. And nga lang, unfortunately, pagdating niya sa Clippers, he wasn't the same player na. Spot minutes na lang yung nakukuha niya. And nakakatawa nga yun, I think it was in 2017 na yun na yung final season niya. And nag-trash talk sila ni Draymond Green. Tapos parang nasa free throw line ata si Paul Pierce nun. Tapos tinrash talk siya ni Draymond Green. Yung sabi sa Draymond Green, you think you're Kobe? They don't love you like that. You don't have a goddamn farewell tour.
Oo, naalala ko yun.
Na-hurt si Paul Pierce doon kasi pucha, totoo Totoong-totoo yan
And ang masakit kasi doon, parang as a LA native, sumikat siya sa Boston So parang wala talagang masyadong legacy sa hometown tong si Paul Pierce. Ayan, so from his basketball career, lipat naman tayo sa ginagawa niya ngayon, which is sports analyst. Nako, kung anong ginaling niya sa pagiging basketball player is medyo naging questionable bigla sa broadcasting career niya. So, tingin mo, ano yung mga funny na mga sinabi?
Patungin natin sila. Siya, si Kendrick Perkins, si Kevin Garnett. Pagsama-samahin natin yung tatlong yan, mag-average ng 60 points sila pagdating daw dito sa ganitong style of play.
Tol, pinakabenta yung
sobrang glorified.
So, pinakabenta yung yung sinabi niya about kay Klay Thompson. Sino ba ang mas magaling na wing shooter? Siya or si Klay Thompson? Klay Thompson na currently may hawak ng record for most 3-pointers made in NBA.
Pointers in a game.
Tapos sinabi niya, siya daw. Parang,
doon pala mapapaisip ka na kung tama yung career na pinili niya.
Parang, I think, the best pure shooter in NBA history has to be Klay Thompson. As in, I rank him even higher than Steph Curry, to be honest. In pure shooting,
Parang pure shooting lang naman,
Parang si Steph
parang
kasi more on...
Nash,
Parang shot creator si Steph Curry Si Klay Thompson, from the mechanics, ganun. Walang mas gagaling sa kanya. Natawa ako parang sinabi ni Paul Pierce na siya daw yung pinakamagaling. I mean, mas magaling siya kay Klay Thompson in terms of wing shooting. Tapos natawa na lang yung mga kasama niya sa panel nun.
Tapos, dagdag mo pa yung mga comments nila na yung 08 Celtics daw lagi na lang magaling yung 08 Celtics, lagi na lang yung 08 Celtics yung may difference na kumpara dito sa championship team na to or dito sa contender team na to. Dude, that was, I think, 13 years ago na. You gotta let go. You gotta let go.
And basically yung 08 Celtics na yun, they have the same core pero tinalo naman sila ng Lakers noong 2010, di ba? So, tinalo sila ng Orlando Magic nung 09. Though sa 09
pero
naman
wala naman si Garnett nun.
Injured si Garnett nun.
Si Garnett.
Sige, bigay natin yung sa
pero, sinagasaan sila ni LeBron noong 2011 and 2012. Tapos sasabihin nila, they broke LeBron noong 2012. Dude, LeBron ate you up nung Game 6 sa Game 7.
Parang lumamang kasi
yung supportive ako sa Celtics noon. Supportive ako sa Celtics noong 2012 na yun kasi hater ako ni LeBron nung time na yun. Pero dinurog sila ni LeBron. Tapos para sabihin mong kaya nagmayami si LeBron kasi dinurog namin siya ng gusto nung nasa Cleveland siya. Wala na kayo silbi pagdating noong 2012.
And
wala kayong karapatang magyabang.
Tapos man, isa pa yung sinabi niya about nung series ng Celtics tsaka Bucks noong 2019. Nung nanalo yung Celtics nung game 1. Tapos sinabi niya, hindi, tapos na tong series na to, hindi na makaka-recover yung Bucks. Tapos biglang the next 4 games panalo yung Bucks.
Sobrang bullshit lang talaga ng mga sinasabi ni Paul Pierce na as much as he was great as a player, sobrang baho ng mga sinasabi niya as an analyst na sa totoo lang, feeling ko si Rachel Nichols naiinis na lang din kaya tinatawa niya na lang eh.
Big 3 ng
Nagsama sila ni Pippen.
Big 3 ng broadcasting sa sports. Kendrick Perkins, Paul Pierce, tsaka Ryan Hollins.
Kung gusto niyo ng mga outrageous, non-stat driven, non-record driven na commentary, panoorin niyo yung tatlo. Kasi di kami gano'n.
So, ayun. May fun fact pa pala ako about kay Paul Pierce na medyo bumilib ako sa kanya. If you can remember, nalaman ko to kakalaro lang ng NBA 2K. And nasabi siya sa commentary. Tapos nabalitaan ko rin na kinuwento ni Chris Broussard ata sa segment niya na there was this one season na assault si Paul Pierce. Tapos nasaksak siya ng sobrang daming beses sa katawan niya.
I think it was 17 times.
Tapos off-season yun. Then he proceeded to play that season and he put up one of his best seasons ever. So
best season,
medyo tough din tong si Paul Pierce. Something na hindi alam ng marami sa atin siguro. Na medyo Terminator din tong si Paul Pierce na despite na ganun ka-severe yung injury, imagine mo masasaksak ka ng multiple times sa katawan.
Nakapaglaro pa siya.
Nakapaglaro siya at a high level. So, bigyan natin kay Paul Pierce credit sa kanya yun.
I think we should talk about yung mga favorite moments natin with Paul Pierce as we do with all the other legends. And ako, yung favorite moment ko sa kanya was yun nga, yung napag-usapan natin kanina sa Wizards na game winner siya. Kasi pinunod ko ng live yun eh. And ang lupit talaga nun na I saw with just about, I think, 2 seconds left on the clock. Kaya parang nung time na yun, bihira na yung mga ganong moments sa playoffs. Since most of the teams were dominating. Pero Paul Pierce was different. The Wizards were different at the time. Kasi sila, up-and-coming team sila nung time na yun. Kaya malaking bagay yung nagawa nila.
And he was the veteran presence nun
Ang isang favorite ko pa sa kanya na pagtatawa na ng lahat is yung excuse niya nung, I think it was game 5 of the 08 finals na binilchar siya. Tapos, years later, after nun, na nag-heroic performance siya, I think it was game 5 or game 3, somewhere along that, before natapos yung series, na binilchar siya dahil daw na-injure ata yung ankle or yung shoulder. Shoulder pero naka-wheelchair. Shoulder pero naka-wheelchair. Pero bumalik siya agad. Kaso, netong, I think it was last year, may nag-slow-mo nung video. May napansin sila doon sa puwet ni Paul Pierce. May bakat ng tae. Tapos, i-interview to si Paul Pierce. Inamin niya na kaya siya na-injure nun kasi natatay siya. Nag-CR lang siya nun. Hindi masakit yung balikat niya.
If ako kay Paul Pierce, hindi ko sasabihin. Parang, di ba? Na, ba't mo sasabihin yun? Ba't mo aaminin? Pwede mo namang i-deny. Wala namang nagki-question sa'yo nung time na yun. Ayun, parang ba't mo aaminin, di ba?
Ako, personally, tingin ko si Kobe. Tumatawa na lang sa langit yun ngayon eh. Naalala niya yun eh. Yung tumalo sa akin nata eh. Hayop.
Kaya pala sobrang pangit ang laro ni Paul Pierce prior nun. Tapos after nun, nung nakabalik siya, tuloy-tuloy yung consecutive basket siya nun eh. Parang by himself, tinambakan niya yung Lakers nun eh. Tapos biglang kumawala yung Celtics ng game na yun. Ayan. So, ako naman, pinaka-memorable na time ko na napanood ko si Paul Pierce was the Game 7 of the 2008 NBA playoffs, semis. Kalaban nila noon, the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James. And grabe yun, as in pukpuan talaga. And it was one of the greatest offensive exchanges na napanood ko ng live. Ganun ka lupit yung nangyari nun. So sadly nga lang, naubusan ng bala si LeBron kasi syempre, paano mo nga naman matatalo pagkakampi mo sila Drew Gooden, di ba? Paano mo matatalo yung big three ng Celtics? So,
the offense pa yung Celtics nun kasi syempre, 3 offensive stars yun eh. Lugi ka talaga.
And medyo nalungkot ako nung time na yun. Pero doon ko nakita na si Paul Pierce was very underrated. Kasi wala masyadong writers na nagsasabi na ka-level niya sila LeBron, ka-level niya sila Kobe. Pero he's capable to play toe-to-toe against those guys. So, kudos to Paul Pierce. And I think he's really one of the most underrated players ever.
And so, I think that's it for this episode of Legacy. Kung meron kayong mga players na gusto nyong i-discuss namin na mga star players or maybe even legends, not necessarily star players, basta mga legends na nag-contribute sa game. Like for example si Steve Kerr na malaking impact sa game, na even beyond his playing career, malaking impact niya sa game. Or maybe even Greg Popovich, actually pwede namin gawa ng legacy episode yan. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and help us to reach 1,000 subscribers. Again, my name is Jello. This is my partner Jem. See you in the next episode of Legacy. See you in the next episode of Palm Hoops Podcast. Last piece of advice, huwag kayong tatae sa shorts nyo.